How you doing? I'm doing a series of short review videos on Toyotas because I have so many Toyotas to do videos on. And I just got done with a press vehicle from Toyota, 2018 4Runner. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a different approach here. I'm going to include a friend of mine. We've been very intimate over the years. His name is Yoplat. How you doing, Greg?
Good, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for supplying this masterpiece of Toyota engineering.
My pleasure. It's just good to get out on the road with you.
Yeah, I really like getting out on the open road.
Yeah.
So let's talk Turkey. I want to get into the first question I have for you, since you're an owner. With all the other SUVs and CUVs on the market, why would you choose this when this is basically from 2009? It hasn't been updated much. It feels kind of ancient. Why would you choose this over everything else?
Well, I think that, to be honest, my wife drives it. It's hers, but wanted something that's just body on frame, that you can drive around. It's reliable. You don't have to worry about resale down the road.
And you bought this new?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your usage case? Do you tow, do you haul, do you off-road this thing at all, or?
I don't tow it. We don't off-road. We do road trips, more than just getting groceries. There's been quite a few things. It's great for hauling lumber, stuff like that. You can roll the window down and back and just, run it right out the back, stuff like that.
Okay.
I really haven't even put anything on the roof rack yet, or really used the hitch, but for the most part, being that it's the limited, drive a lot of open road like this, highway, so
let's talk about the pros. So I had this off-road, well, not your car, but the new one, the press car.
The limited model?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had it on the street, and I've done some road trips with it. And I think the big pro is it does have this really strong sense of appeal. Like, in terms of appearance, it feels more like a truck. It looks more like a truck. It has an old school, look to it. It doesn't have some of the... It's not trying to be something that it's not. And I think that's one of the cool factors about the 4Runner, despite its age. It really is not anything else. And I like that. I like the driving position. It does have great visibility. There's a ton of glass in here. You don't have to worry about having a ton of safety systems so you can see around you. You do have a good command of the road. The brake pedal feel, the throttle, the accelerator pedal, the way that the steering feels is just, you feel a sense of solidity in it. And of course, that's what they're trying to do here. From the knobs, the buttons, the switches, the interior, this is a much more manly style, truckish design.
I suppose, yeah.
The other thing that's really good is everybody I talk to, including you and Tom and Scott, who are mechanics, this thing will likely never break. It has a massive history of great reliability. The transmission is 5 speeds instead of 10 or 50. I'm sure we're going to see in about 10 years. You're going back to an old motor that has just worked, and everything's worked with very little drama, and I think that's one of the most appealing parts about this, despite the cost. At what, about 45 grand?
Yeah, sticker, it's right around there. I mean, this thing, I think it's completely made in Japan too, which is another thing that's interesting about it.
Yeah, it's made with the Prado and the Land Cruiser, I believe, are in the same factory.
Yeah. I'm surprised they still make this the way it is. And I think it's popular enough that they keep doing it. You go to the Land Cruiser, stuff like that. It's an amazingly capable truck as well, but it's expensive.
Right, yeah. I mean, you're paying a premium for it.
But they blend in. That's what I like about these two. They're not they're just not flashy. You're not driving around with a badge that's really gonna,
Yeah, this is not a badge snobmobile.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
People that know it know that, hey, this person is going to have this thing for 50 years.
Yeah, I just want to drive it till the wheels fall off at 300K, man. That's, you go into this knowing that.
Okay, so would you say that's the biggest pro?
That is the biggest pro, yeah.
Okay.
For me, longevity and reliability. You know, let me give you an example. Like the other day, I had to buy a lot of Rogaine. Went to get it and missed the curb. You know, I didn't go into the drive-through at Starbucks the right way, and I just put this thing in 4 low, and I mean, I got over the curb.
What happened to the Rogaine?
It barely jostled around, you know, and that, you know, that's a perfect example of why you need something like this. But I don't know, man. You know, as cars get newer, they start looking like Transformers to me or something, man. You can't tell if they're coming at you or going. And
well, yeah.
I just want a box.
Yeah, you want the old. Obviously, you want the old school shit that this supplies, and I think it does work extremely well. But let's get into the negative part about this, and I think there are a lot. If you get over all the stuff we just talked about, it's like driving a bread box around.
Well,
it doesn't.
Yeah, I guess compared to the other models, though. I mean,
the Highlander was a horrible handling SUV, and obviously that's not body on frame.
Right.
But this makes the Highlander feel like a sports car. This has that truck feel to it. The suspension, it does get springy over bad pavement. For normal pavement it rides, you almost can't tell it's a truck. You get used to it. Right. Steering feel is kind of slower. The transmission is slow to respond. It's, you know, it's not like crazy. I'm not bagging out.
You need to drive this thing in the winter if you can. We should do a
follow-up to it.
We should, just to see how you like it then. But yeah, totally agree with you on your points.
My biggest problem, though, I don't care what you say.
What are you gonna do? Kill me?
No, I'm not gonna kill you yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna show you the power and performance of this V6.
Let me turn off the air, man.
Okay.
Jeez.
Oh, is there a sport mode? Oh, let me put on sport mode.
All right. Oh. What are you trying to do? Break my neck? We just went back in time.
You just went 0 to 60 in about 9 seconds in this.
We just went back to 2009.
You did.
When they changed this platform.
Yeah, it was probably the same motor. I think they just improved the variable valve timing for 2009, and this thing feels pokey as hell. And I know people are gonna say, well, you're buying this for reliability, you're buying it for tried and true, you're never gonna have to fix it, and I can deal with it being slow. Personally, I can't. And I can't because...
You like to drive, man.
I like to drive.
This isn't a guy who likes to drive car. This is a guy who's like, I gotta go do shit.
I gotta do shit and get horrible fuel economy and still putt around. I can't accept that in this day and age. If I'm gonna go 9 seconds 0 to 60 in a lumbering bread box, I better get better than, what are you getting, 17 miles to the gallon?
Yeah, 17, 18.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I mean... Yeah, it makes me a little bit upset. I'll be honest.
What do you expect, man?
You can't have everything.
What else are they going to get out of this platform at this point, man?
Nothing.
Yeah.
They could update the motor with...
Bring back a V8 version. I mean,
well, no, the V8's even worse in the Tundra. That mean you're lucky to get 13 miles to the gallon out of that.
You just want it all, don't you?
Yes,
you want a car that goes 0 to 100 in 4 seconds. So it's 50 miles to the gallon.
Yes, I don't want all that. But
yeah, bullshit.
You got to have some balance. I can deal with it with the V8. The V8's not particularly fast, but it sounds amazing. But at least you're moving in that thing. And
you drove the Lexus, right?
I drove all of them. I'm talking more about the Tundra V8.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Which is all the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they should have had the direct injected, or dual injection in this car by now, or truck. You probably would get 20, and I'm not saying 20 is great, but there's no way I could deal with this on a daily commute. How can your wife drive every day, get shitty fuel economy? How many miles does she drive every day?
Oh, God. She probably drives at least 100 miles a day.
So 100 miles a day at 17 miles to the gallon, you're probably paying more in fuel costs than you would... You're nullifying your reliability costs in the long run. You could have a nice GM Colorado. No, I'm just joking. I get it. So that's the point. You can't have everything. You want reliability. You want the build quality that these Toyotas offer, and you have to suffer in having kind of the outdated engine and pretty shitty fuel economy. And that's just it.
Yep. I mean...
And you're okay with that?
I'm all right with it. I mean, again... I hardly drive this thing. I've got a 2003 Ford Escape, for Christ's sake.
Oh my
So
God, dude.
burgundy.
Yeah, but that was a hand-me-down. That wasn't something you bought.
Yeah, it's a panty dropper, but nevertheless, yeah. I mean, you just want a thing, you know, a car you get in, you drive. You don't have to worry about it. You need to haul some shit, you're gonna haul it, whatever. You're not gonna be setting laps like Mario Andretti.
Well, no, you're not going to be setting laps in any modern. Most 90% of modern vehicles are. You know, yes, you get a little bit better experience with a CUV or an SUV, like a not a body on frame, because you know they're just better because they're more car-like.
Speaking of that, though, not to cut you off again, but did you even put it in low on your
off-road?
Yeah,
yeah.
So
it was in
you actually got to go through.
Yeah,
okay.
I did downhill descent control, all the stuff on the off-road course.
I was just curious if you just left it
and it was
all the
good.
time.
It was good, honestly. Surprisingly, for the limited, it wasn't the TRD Pro.
It was the same wheels though.
Same shit
same
as
rubber.
yours. Yeah, and I was really happy with how it rode, and it wasn't like Land Rover.
No,
but
this is for all the time too, which is interesting with this model. Which makes it more of a daily driver.
Well, you have a real four-wheel drive system with a center diff and all that in here, so this is really capable. And that's at the end of the day, this is even though it's aged, it's older, this is one of the most tried and true SUVs you could ever buy. Exactly. And I totally get that. Yep. If you're okay with the trade-offs and you're okay with the negatives we talked about, you're going to be driving this by the time I'm probably like 70-year-old and dead.
I will drive this thing through your garage at a top speed of 85 miles an hour. And that's how we're going
Watch my body explode.
You'll be editing one of these videos.
And you're just going to drive right through on it?
I don't know what you'll be reviewing by then.
I'll probably be reviewing the
Rogaine, maybe.
The Rogaine sponsored Tesla that's owned by GM.
This thing, I'm just gonna come through like with LED strips all over it, a shovel mounted to the side, a camper fully popped up on the roof, and just blast your garage door.
On that note, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.